Welcome to another episode of That Crazy Triangle Guy. Here we are looking at Bitcoin dominance on the daily time frame. I got a bunch of crazy lines here, and I haven't talked about this in a long time. So let's go back to back over here. So my Bitcoin dominance theory is that here we are back in 2018. Bitcoin dominance travels upwards in these ascending wedge, not ascending wedge. What are they? Expanding, whatever. They're expanding wedge patterns. Little cups, I call them. So we expand upwards in this little cup here. That up there like that, getting wider and wider. And then what happens, we spill into this other cup. It's kind of going sideways and up there. And then when we reach the top of the cup here, actually when we reach the top of the cup here and start to spill out, we're very close to the top, and that's that extra Bitcoin slowing down, and the altcoins are exploding at the last few minutes of the bull run. So I don't believe we're anywhere near that right now. We have another little cup here. When was that? That was June of 2022. So that was that last little rally. I remember because this is when I was just getting into crypto right here. And I thought, hey, yeah, this is looking good here. Things are looking good. And then we had, what did we have? Terra Luna collapse, and Voyager and Celsius and all that crap. And it was all downhill from there. I lost a lot of money there. And so anyway, here we are. Since the FTX collapse right here. We've been traveling upwards. Let me zoom in a little bit. In the red cup, I've color-coded the cups. Traveling upwards here in the red cup, and then we have a yellow cup here that we are flowing into as well. Traveling sideways in the yellow cup. And let's just hide that for a second. I can't do it right now. Well, whatever. We'll leave it there. I also have an orange parallel channel overlaid on top of that. But currently, it's looking like we want to spill out of this yellow cup. But we're nowhere near the top of our market yet. That's why we have the orange parallel channel here. I may need to, you can see that yellow line actually doesn't take in this. And actually, I might move that right now. This yellow line might be a little bit better. Well, I'll move it later. It probably goes way up to the top there. I think more like the bottom of this orange parallel channel would be the equivalent of this yellow dashed line. I think we need to move the yellow dashed line down to there. Now, this parallel channel is based on these contact points here at the top of the channel, these three contact points, and the center line of the channel is positioned where price action is hitting here. And here, and here, and here. And kind of similarly here. It's very kind of rough, well, here we go. Here's some more. Right there it hits clearly. So, that's that. Now, the bottom of the channel is kind of a little bit not so clear. You see we hit it there. But here in this area, we didn't even come all the way down to it. And here, over here, we came through it just a little bit and it acted as resistance. So here we are now. So we could very well just be as far as we go and start to come back up here. Or we could come through it a little bit lower. So it doesn't really tell us much there, but what it does tell us that in each of these cases back here and back here, we did move upwards from those positions. And my argument is that we would not break down here until we were much further out towards the more towards the top of our cycle. I say we bounce here and head up more. So Bitcoin's got some moves, and it does look like I didn't believe Ben in the first place, but yeah, it looks like we could still come up to this red line, which would be the top of it. It's a perfect symmetrical triangle. This top of the red line, it's a trend line that goes back to the beginning of dominance somewhere. Goes back here, so there we go. There's a point. There's a point back here somewhere, multiple points. So, yeah, I like it when they form pretty much perfect symmetrical triangles. It's very telling when they do that. So, yeah, I say dominance bounce from here and starts heading back upwards towards, yeah, maybe upwards. Well, maybe we come up as high as potentially 57. But we shall see. So that's that. So that's telling us, me, right now, we're about to bounce as far as Bitcoin relative to the rest of the market. But the thing is, Ethereum's pretty strong lately too. So maybe Ethereum's time runs out. Ethereum and the rest of the Ethereum altcoins start seeing a little bit of a pullback, and Bitcoin starts seeing a rally, possibly. But whatever, just keep an eye on that. Or everything continues, but Bitcoin really, really rallies here. So now here we are back on the Bitcoin US dollar index on the hourly time frame. And what we've gone over most recently is that we did form this head and shoulders pattern right here, and just form the shoulder. Now the head is very oddly shaped in this pattern, as well as this shoulder. We have this big fake out here. It doesn't really fit in. And we're kind of struggling here at the end of the shoulder pattern, not really completing it and dumping. Now, if we zoom in here, since, let's see, market open on Tuesday, which is about here, we did rally, we pulled back, we rallied to the top of the Gaussian channel. This was after market hours, went into late Tuesday and early Wednesday, all the way up to this green dashed line, which held as resistance. That's the top of the daily Gaussian channel. And it clearly held as resistance on 3 hourly and 4 hourly candles. Well, we dumped there. So 3 hourly candles, it to the T hit that line. And then we fell down back into the wee hours of the first hours of Wednesday. We're coming up on market open right now. So this is funny as we speak. It looked like You know, we were kind of forming a little bull flag pattern, getting ready to take the next leg down. But as you can see, we are still in that pattern. Let's go to a 5-minute quickly and see what we're doing. We're kind of just stuck in between these two lines here. And if you watch the last video, the orange line, I believe, is being recognized as the neckline of the inverse head and of the head and shoulders pattern, because back here on Tuesday we clearly came down to it and tried to break through and dump down. We tried to dump down here, but we only got to the bottom of the most important channel in Bitcoin history, this white line right here, and held that, and we rallied hard from there. Depends on how zoomed in I am. 67.2 to 68.5. So actually, that's pretty good. Yeah, $1,300. That's a pretty nice rally over. Wow. Yeah, that's on a 5-minute time frame. So we bounced pretty good from that level. It's kind of telling me that that's an important level that we're trying to protect. And we're well above it here. Now this gray line, well, I've zoomed out to an hourly time frame because I forgot what that freaking gray line is. So many damn lines on this chart. Gray line will become clearer when I switch to a less cluttered chart, which may as well do right now after I tell you about all these arrows. So these arrows are various targets. Most important probably is the orange target, but they range from 64 down to 60, upper 62s maybe, 62 and a half, 64 to 62 and a half. But I think the orange one's probably more realistic, and that's the target from the orange neckline here, and measured from the lower portion of the head right there. Not this weird little bump. He must have fallen when he did the inverted head and shoulders and bumped his head. And so I moved this line over. It was over here. I moved it over here to where we are now, below the neckline. Technically, I don't know. I don't know whether we're going to now see. Now we're coming back down on the this hourly candle here, so we're potentially setting up for a dump. And if we did, maybe we come down here, and that's at about 64,000 right now. So let's go ahead and switch over to a cleaner chart. All right, so here we are on a cleaner chart on an hourly time frame. This is Bitcoin US dollar on Binance. And the only reason I'm using it is because it's easily accessible without switching to a whole nother chart and or layout, a whole nother layout. And here we are. So you can see that this gray line here is similar, pretty close to the gray line on the other chart. Actually, a little bit more accurate. And what that gray line is, switch to a 4-hour so we can zoom out a little bit more. Essentially, we are trading in these green channels. So this makes it very, very simple. You'll see people throw some other lines here. You'll see people, crazy people, throw a whole bunch of lines on their chart. Different lines. Lines connecting different points, but these two green parallel channels describe all of price action. Really, since, well, wow, we can even go back further. Since June of 2023 is where we started interacting with these channels right up here. Where we bounced off the top, and then eventually fell into it later on in the summer and had that big dump in August and continued to rally in this channel and began our bull rally mid-October from the bottom of this green channel. Anyway, I don't need to really go over that in detail because you should be able to see clearly what's going on here. Now, currently, we're trading near the center line of the upper portion, the center line of the lower channel. Now, recently here, on the 1st of May, we came all the way down to the bottom of the channel. Back up to the center line. And then back down, not to the bottom of the channel, but clearly to this line here. Which, if you see here, this line acted as resistance right there on the 1st of May and support here on the 2nd of May. We're on a 4-hour, okay, so this is a 4-hour chart. Okay, I'm trying to move the chart over. And so we started holding this as support here, the 10th of May, and rallied upwards from there. Now, where did we rally to? This is our gray line that we're currently talking about here. It has acted as, well, not back there. Well, let's zoom out a little bit. Maybe it does go back here. Yeah, it does. It's acted as resistance and support and whatever support and resistance there. Trying to get through it. Resistance and support here. We broke through it there. And tried to hold it as support, and then it acted as resistance there and broke through it here. And every time we've broken through it, we come back down and test it here on at least on these 4-hour candles for support. Wicked right down to it here as recent as May 16th for support. And here again on May 23rd and 24th. And currently, that's where we're at. And we're struggling to hold it as support. We're right on the edge with these little wicks through it right now. So there's nothing definitive here. It's very possible, we're just waffling here. It's very possible that we could come down to here or here. And where is it? That's right around 63.5, 64,000. But what I'm seeing is that this is getting all bought up here. This is getting all bought up because what we're doing is we are, well, this yellow line doesn't go back further than these two contact points here. Okay, why isn't my cursor coming? There we go. It doesn't go back much further than these two contact points. But it is forming a perfect symmetrical triangle. And it does seem pretty clear. Well, so see, that's a symmetrical triangle. And you'll see others making some sort of a triangular shape here. A shallower one, but I don't like a shape like that, like connecting this line like that, something like that. I don't like odd-shaped triangles. I like perfectly symmetrical triangles or perfect ascending or descending triangles. That's why my triangle, other than that one that I have there, I'd draw more something like that. Let's make that a different color. There, let's make it that color. Oh, close enough for government work, I'd say. So yeah, could we come down here? We got less than an hour, 45 minutes till market opens. And I think when that happens, who knows what's going to happen. We could come down here, but coming below the green line, I don't believe has any basis in reality whatsoever. And that's currently at 63. Maybe we come all the way down to 63 even. I don't see any price going below that. But what I really think is going to happen is we're going to hold this gray line. I think we're going to hold this gray line. What do I have marked here? That's the FOMC meeting. The vertical line is the FOMC meeting. So looking at this chart as it is right here, that's not that far away. It's what is today? Does anybody know what day it is today? It's the 29th. 30 days has September, April, 31 days. So, this is Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Saturday's the beginning of a new month. So yeah, that's 2 weeks. Oh my God, it's 2 weeks from today. What kind of mental math am I doing? 2 weeks from today is the FOMC meeting and the CPI data release. Now, what I would like to see, and I think is certainly a possibility, because we are coming to the end of this gray channel. Now, this is a little tiny triangle. Like I said, remember, this only has this contact point here and this one here. But remember, I believe that we are oscillating in this purple, in the ascending triangle marked by this purple line as the top, and various bases here that we've been consolidating in for a long, long time. I mean, arguably, well, forever. But actually, since here, you can argue that the center line of the lower channel is a base right along there, or any of the gray lines, or the green line as the bottom, really. It's the base of our channel. And why that is, I mean, essentially, if you zoom out, whenever you have ascending triangles or whatever, it's doing exactly what we see here. Price action is traveling upwards in a channel like these green channels here. It halts. It can't get past a certain horizontal resistance and then finally breaks that resistance. And when it does, it merely goes back up to the top of the channel, which is $110,000. Let's say, it's really somewhere around the 4th of July, Bitcoin could be at 111,111. Just to be really cool with our numbers, because I like doing that. Whenever I put in orders like for $67,676 or whatever. And so that's how ascending triangles work. The target is what you're doing is merely pulling the target from the height of this channel here, and then moving it over to wherever it breaks out, and that would be the target. Now, do we go straight up there? No. When we came up here, did we just shoot straight up here? No. We rallied nicely. So if we did something like similar to that, let's just go like this and like that and move that guy over here. Yeah, it's taken us up to about 120,000 by the end of July. If that were to reoccur. Let's get rid of that guy. No, I think everybody knows that. I think all the big players know it. I think BlackRock and Fidelity and all the other institutional investors with their big money all know that in just a couple months we're going to be above 100,000, potentially as high as 120,000 by the end of July in just 2 months. That's kind of a move, is that? 67, 63. It's almost doubling. Let's just say it's almost going to double in price by July, and then probably double again as we head into the end of the year. So that's what we're looking at, and that's why we've been holding this gray line for the past 2 weeks. Could we dump down here? It's really going to take a lot. Let's look at the liquidation heat map. So here we are looking at the overall Bitcoin market 24-hour on the Bitcoin heat map on CoinGlass. Got some yellow here. Let's see if my 33 million leverage it. Now, I don't know how to really read this map on the different time frames, and the numbers don't seem to match up to what really gets liquidated. I understand it changes all the time and people change their positions, but even when you switch from 12-hour to 24-hour to whatever, 1 week, 1 month, the numbers really change. So I'm not really sure what that means. I just go by the colors. I like the pretty colors, and when I see yellow, that means there's a lot of stuff down here, but not very much. It's not crazy, but we could come down there, and that was like 67.2. So that might make it worth their while to head down there, and let's see what that is. over here, 67.2 is I mean it's not even much further down from where we're at. But it does get us out of symmetry here. I think if I were Bitcoin, what I would do is continue oscillating in this channel that we're this triangle, the symmetrical triangle that we're forming here recently since May 21st, past week and a half or so. We're going to continue this way. And when does that triangle end? Well, we got to be out of it by next week. But more than likely, I'd say by Friday, we're out the top of this channel. So today or tomorrow, we break out the top of this top of this triangle, maybe back up to the center line, maybe just outside the triangle, or potentially even all the way up to 71,200. I think that might even be possible, but then what would happen is that either whenever we have that breakout, today, tomorrow, or Friday, then what we would do is come back down and hold the top of this triangle as support over the weekend. Now, where's our FOMC meeting? Hey, where did it go? Why isn't it here? Shouldn't it be here? What did they do with our green line? Couldn't see our green line for a second. I don't know what happened. But, so this is the FOMC meeting here. I don't think we break out from our ascending triangle until here. I think that's bounce time right there. So could we come down here for one more? You know, I don't know. I'm waffling. It makes sense if you don't zoom out and if you stay here that we break out of this little triangle and do something right here, at least over the weekend. You know, possibly into June we start the breakout. You know, that maybe we do that. We consolidate over the weekend and then break out of the channel, possibly trading along the center line here up to, 70, just still staying below 73, and then come back down for a retest at 71.2, and then we do our bounce. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it now. Let's look at the RSI. Oh, we're on the 4 hour here. So yeah, I drew this line a couple hours, well, I guess it must have been back here. And we did come below it and then back up, so that doesn't really tell me much. But we are coming back up. So now I've switched to the daily RSI, and mind you, we're still looking at Binance here, but it's pretty darn similar to the overall index. Now, okay, I got two things here. I got a yellow trend line let me just get rid of this for now. So we have this yellow trend line here, which we've been holding since May 1st. So not that long, just for this month. But we've been trending upwards in this line here. Oh, that reminds me of something else I wanted to look at. And we just fell through it yesterday. And today we're below it. So, that doesn't look good. Looks like we're going to head down. But let's bring back our little thing we just hid. There we go. I did it. So I have a pair. I like to think along parallel channels. Trend lines can get you in trouble, but parallel channels, when you have multiple lines that you're trying to view a trend on, it really helps you see things clearer. So if I have this trend line channel, parallel channel, and I anchor it to the tops here and here and here, and then the center line to this point here and this point here, this gives us hope that if today we can bring this little guy, which the last point of it is right there, and today hasn't been decided yet, we can bring him back up just a little bit, then I think we'll be okay. Because we are still trading in this trend up here. And so that's my hopium story, and I'm sticking to it. Oh, I forgot the other thing I did want to mention here is that, let's bring up our price chart. We don't need this. We can get rid of this. Can we get rid of that? I don't know if we can. Well, I don't know. Hold on. Well, I don't know how to hide that at the bottom. So I'm just looking at the RSI and price action. And you can see that here on the 25th, Saturday, we have on price action, we have on the 25th and Monday. On Saturday and Monday, we have a higher high, slightly higher high on the price action. And on the RSI is slightly lower low. So you got bearish divergence there. And so you might see some people calling that out, but we've had two red candles, or we've had a big dump, respectively. So that's the bearish divergence playing out there already done. So it's not anything that's going to be long lasting. It played out, and actually now it's probably a good time to reset. And it looks like we're still struggling to get below that gray line, which is really, really good. Let's switch to a 5-minute real quickly and see what we're doing. Yeah. Bears keep trying to dump us below this line and scare us and get us falling below it to scare everybody and panic you into selling. But we seem to be, at least for now, we seem to be pulling through and holding. So I did want to point out that I saw someone recently draw this green line. This green line right here. Why isn't it showing up? There's a trend line connecting these points and these candle wicks here, saying that we've fallen out of this trend line. And trying to make some sense out of that. That's just ridiculous. You got to watch where people draw their trend lines and what the hell they're talking about, what time frame they're on, and stuff like that. Now I have drawn this blue one, and it has contact points there, and we're still below it here. But regardless, I don't really like any of those because they don't fit into the symmetry of things here. Everything's got to be symmetrical and pretty. There we go. I think I hit them. See, this is much cleaner and nicer looking. So the other thing we can look at is Gaussian channel. And in fact, if the bears were able to dump us down here, it's still not out of the realm of possibility. Where is that? It's at the mean band of the Gaussian channel. So there is potential there. And that is around upper 64, 65. That's on Friday. Today, tomorrow, yeah, upper 60, 64.5 to 65, 64.6 to 65 maybe. So there's potential there. And even into next week, that's possible. Oh, that reminds me, we got to look at possibly the monthly. Although I don't like monthly candles. I like 4-week candles better. Where do we want Bitcoin to finish the month? You know what? It makes sense that we would just finish it at the purple line and have 3 nice little candles in a row. What are those? Isn't there like a candle pattern with 3? Well, I guess not. That 3 soldiers pattern is like when you have 3 staggered candles in a row. I don't know. But what's really neat is if I drag my video on long enough, then we can just see big fat candles like that one right there. Oh, it's only 3 Bitcoins. But I guess the market's deciding which way it wants to go. Possibly. That's funny, we're on the 5-minute. That's only 3 Bitcoins. Let's look at the hourly. See. I was on the 5-minute when I was looking at that candle, and I'm like, wow, we're really taking off. But we are. I mean, that's a significant decision to go in one direction. Said, hey, we're not going down. We're gonna hold this line, and that's on the 6 hour or the 6 o'clock, whatever, 1300 UTC. Market's gonna open in 12 minutes. So I think I rambled on long enough. So essentially, could we come down to 64, 65, where the mean center line or the mean band of the Gaussian channel is? Possibly. Um, I think that we're holding this gray line right now currently, and I think there's going to be a tendency to continue that. I think a lot of people want Bitcoin, and they're going to buy it up and hold this line. It's going to take a lot, but is it impossible for them to get down here? No. I mean, if someone but there's got to be some sort of incentive for them to do that, possibly liquidating people or something like that, maybe. But so that could be too many people get crazy with leverage. Maybe you'll see that. But what I think is that we're going to hold this gray line, continue trading in this pattern, at some point break above this yellow line here. And then, just like I said, break above the yellow line. Maybe by Friday we get above the purple line out of our ascending triangle, hold the top of it, and try for a bounce off of the FOMC meeting in 2 weeks. So that's that. Like, subscribe, and see you next time. I did want to point out before I go, one last thing is that futures here, you can see in the middle of the screen with the exclamation point, CME futures, is trading. Oh, it just started trading above. Well, now it's trading below. It's pretty much even or at a slight discount to spot. That's telling me they're not too excited about the future. Now, but at some point last night, too, I was seeing a $200 premium on futures. So, it changes. It changes by the hour, and now it's a premium again as market is about to open. Yeah, so I think it's looking good into market open. But I didn't look at the stock market. Well, the market looks like we're just a few minutes away. Looks like it wants to open up in the red pretty significantly, almost a percentage point. So that's that. Yeah, I'm tired. I'm going to take a nap and wake up after the market's done its thing and see what happened. All right. See you next time. Thanks.